Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hi, Kenyatta. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, how you feeling?
Feeling great. How about you?
That makes two of us.
Yay.
Ah.
Hi, Sky.
Good morning.
Hi, Sky.
Morning, Kenyatta.
Yeah, and welcome to all of you prospective students who've joined so far. We'll be starting here in a couple of minutes.
Thanks so much.
Yep, give us a few minutes and we'll get started.
Hello,
Hi, Nita.
and hello, everyone else.
Good morning.
Sorry, there's too many people to go by by name.
Yeah, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. We'll hang on here for another minute or two and see who else pops on.
Absolutely. And we'll give a warm greeting as well just to get us started this morning. So we'll give about a few more minutes and then we'll get started. I may even do an opening song this morning. Who knows?
You said an open song?
May sing the Northeastern song this morning. Who knows?
I think that'll be a first for me. I don't know if I've ever heard a Northeastern song.
You haven't heard the Northeastern nanomedicine song? Oh,
Oh man,
Well, now that you mention it, I think we need one.
yeah, I think we're missing out.
I'll put it on Sky's to-do list today. I'll just inbox her and just see how that goes, just to see.
I'll put it on the to-do list, but I will not be singing.
All right.
And Kenyatta, can I ask you that
Yes.
maybe during the presentation, if anyone else tries to pop in, can you click the admit button? Are you able to see that?
I
I
will
am
be
not.
managing that.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, I will be taking care of that. And Kenyatta and I will be here supporting the chat as well to answer any, top level questions that we can answer. And then at the end of the event, we'll help sort through all of the unanswered questions and make sure that everything is addressed.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, let's get started. Listen, first of all, good morning to everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is an exciting day in Northeastern today. It really is. I am super duper, not to duper is the word, but I'm super duper excited today to welcome you to Northeastern University. My name is Kenyatta D. Simmons. Hold your applause, please. And I'm the Assistant Director of Grad Admissions. I am based in the big city of Houston, Texas. Yes, yes, yes. But I work on the graduate recruitment and admissions side of things. And so we want to welcome you this morning to Northeastern. We are one of the global leaders in nanomedicine and research. And so you ladies and gentlemen know we're based in Boston, Texas, but we are global, right? Not just in Boston, but everywhere from Vancouver to London to Miami, Florida. So we are literally everywhere. And so we're excited today that you have joined us this morning. Certainly you met my partner in crime already, Sky Osborne. Wave your hand, Sky, so people know who you are. Yeah, all complaints send to Sky Osborne, please. Any complaints you have, send to her. She is our college success manager. And so we're excited today. And so my job and Sky's, our job is to monitor the chat. So any questions you have, please put them in the chat. As a matter of fact, before I turn it over to Dr. Vin Maloney, put in the chat where you're from. Like where you're from. What part of the world are you in this morning? Are you in Florida? Are you in Massachusetts? Are you in Georgia? Tokyo? Where are you from this morning? Let us know where you're from, and we would love to interact with you via chat as well too. Okay, so I'm excited today about nanomedicine. I know it's going to be a great presentation. Also, at the end, we will have some time for question and answers as well too. So that's the part I love the most because you get a chance to ask questions, and I think that is so beneficial. So I'm going to be quiet, and I'm going to turn it over now. Nanomedicine, let's go.
All right. Nita, do you want to take it off?
Yeah. So hello everyone. Welcome to the Masters in Nanomedicine program. So we're so excited to have you all join us here today. Nanomedicine is really an up and coming field. You've probably heard about it in terms of the SARS-CoV-2 vaccines, the diagnostic tests that were that little red line that you see that shows up on your SARS-CoV-2 test that tells you you're positive or not, and you're really, really hoping that second line doesn't show up. Those are gold nanoparticles that are doing that. The vaccine that was delivered using mRNA. The only reason that mRNA has been one of the reasons that mRNA has been so successful is that it's encapsulated in these lipid nanoparticles that actually allow enough time for the mRNA to have an impact and have the vaccine. So there's lots of innovation and lots of exponential growth going on. So just to maybe introduce ourselves. So my name is Nita Brown. I am the director of the Boston-based nanomedicine programs here. We have a certificate as well as a master's in nanomedicine. I've been working in the field for over 10 years now, ranging from therapeutics all the way to diagnostics. I've made, carbon nanotubes for photothermal therapy, gold nanoparticles for CT imaging, Aggie-based nanoparticles that are actually in the clinic right here in Boston, undergoing clinical trials. And so I'm very excited to kind of share this knowledge with you. And I'm very, very passionate about nanomedicine research and education. I'm going to let Anne introduce herself before we go on.
Hi, everybody. I'm Anne Van de Ven. I've been doing nanomedicine research since I was a graduate student. In fact, I stumbled into it by accident when my advisor said, hey, can we use gold as a way to detect early cancer? It turns out the answer was yes, and that's what got me really, really excited about nanoparticles and nanomedicine. But one of the things that I very quickly discovered is that it's really, really hard to get your nanoparticles to the right place in the body. And so that's really what I focused my career on, starting with doing single nanoparticle imaging inside the body and looking at when we inject it, where does it go? What cells does it interact with? What tissues does it interact with? How do we get it to go to the right place inside a cell so it can successfully deliver its cargo? I've joined Northeastern now 11 years ago. I helped start the very first nanomedicine courses, and I'm very excited to say that we've built out an amazing, amazing program that really draws in all the different benefits of Northeastern, but at the same time is really cutting edge with the latest science, the latest engineering to help prepare our students for careers in this field. Anita, I'll turn it back to you.
Thanks, Anne. And then another key member of our faculty here who was not able to join us, but is still very, very passionate and very excited about nanomedicine research is Dr. Srinivas Sridhar. He is a university distinguished professor and the director of the Nanomedicine Innovation Center. Shri has been working on nanomedicine educational as well as research programs with Anne actually for over 2 decades at this point. And he's also a very passionate person about nanomedicine, and not just nanomedicine in like the basic science sense. Shri has actually started 2 different startup companies from the ideas that he developed in the lab, and they're actually currently in the funding phase to get them into the clinic, which is very exciting. So, if you're joining us here at Northeastern, you'll actually have the opportunity to interact with all of us, as well as other affiliated faculty working on nanomedicine here at Northeastern. I believe our list is up to at least 40 or 50 different faculty just here at Northeastern that are doing cutting edge nanomedicine research. So to date, we've had over $10 million in funding, whether it's in research or educational awards. And together we have over 45 years of combined nanomedicine experience that we're just waiting to share with you. Thanks, Anne. Next slide. So, what exactly is nanomedicine, right? And so we define nanomedicine as the application of nanotechnology for the prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and monitoring of disease. So I've already given you guys some examples of nanomedicine. And today, all of us have interacted with nanomedicine in one way or the other over the past couple years. Whether it was getting your vaccine, like I mentioned, the mRNA, if you deliver it without the lipid nanoparticles, will basically degrade in your body within seconds. And so the nanoparticle really allows it to have time to interact with your body and generate that immune response that we're looking for. That was kind of one of the breakthroughs of nanomedicine. Another example that I provided is the SARS-CoV-2 test. The first actual nanoparticle that was used in these assays was actually the pregnancy test. That red line that you see that you've seen showed up, that's also gold nanoparticles. This was all the way in the 1900s, and we're still kind of developing and using that technology in assays that we're building today. You can use nanoparticles for drug delivery. The first nanoparticle that was FDA approved was Doxil for cancer therapy, and it was approved in 1995. And from then to today, we have over 50 different nanoparticles that are approved in the clinic and currently used for either therapy or imaging for lots of different applications, such as cancer, atherosclerosis plaque imaging, anemia treatment, and so on and so forth. And then lastly, cancer can be used as an imaging contrast agent. We actually have a lot of faculty here at Northeastern that are developing different contrast agents. One example is I did a lot of work when I was a postdoctoral fellow, and right now I do this work at Northeastern where we developed some gadolinium-based nanoparticles for MRI contrast. We have other faculty that are developing for moxetol, super paramagnetic iron oxide nanoparticles for MRI imaging and tumor detection. So these are just kind of some examples as teasers about what nanomedicine can do, but they're definitely not the only examples out there. Next slide, please. So we've been, Northeastern has had a nanomedicine program all the way from 2005. So we're over 20 years, almost 20 years at this point. Our first award was a IGERT Nanomedicine Fellowship, where we actually mentored nanomedicine PhDs to specialize in nanomedicine discovery. We actually got that award renewed twice, one time. And so we spanned about 9 years. Kind of one exciting thing was one of the PhD students that actually graduated from that program was actually one of the lead research and development engineers at Moderna developing the SARS-CoV-2 vaccines. And that just kind of goes to show the impact that our program can have on like real world tangible things. We've been running our Cancer Nanomedicine Co-op program. It's an undergraduate research program where we pair undergraduate students from Northeastern with fantastic faculty all over Boston, which includes, faculty at Harvard Medical School, MIT, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, Brigham and Women's Hospital, and they're all doing cutting-edge research in the world on cancer nanomedicine. It's a 6-month hands-on research training program, and we actually just got renewed for the second time with a perfect score from the NIH, which is a very, very rare event. And so we're going to keep running this program for another 5 years, and we're so excited to have you guys join in on these nanomedicine programs that we have ongoing. And then lastly, we've had our Nanomedicine Academy, which was kind of the onset, a lot of these nanomedicine programs that were courses that we're offering today, where we actually created a program where we did interdisciplinary graduate courses and taught up to 5 different universities all around the globe for nanomedicine research, kind of really showing you that Northeastern really is the pioneer and the leader in nanomedicine education. To date, we've taught over 1,300 students. We built out at over 8 experiential courses. We have over 10 million in funding, as well as awarded 60 degrees to date. And we're just looking to continue to grow on. So over here, we kind of have the idea that we don't want you to just learn nanomedicine. We really want you to experience it and apply it. And so we aim for you to acquire scientific and professional knowledge in a dynamic learning environment. And this comes from support from faculty such as ourselves, scientists, engineers, clinicians. We bring in speakers from kind of the top universities in the country, which a lot of them are actually located in Boston, which is a fantastic network to be a part of. Our goal is for you to be able to join our program and to be able to solve high impact healthcare challenges. I'll kind of talk a little bit about it later on, but in all of our courses, we really include these experiential research projects that really help you kind of take that fundamental knowledge that you're learning and applying it to a real world situation that's active right now to really show that the work that we're doing is really translational. So our nanomedicine master's degree is a one of a kind. It is industry aligned. When I say industry aligned, we basically went out there when we were designing our program and asked the industry, what are you looking for in your workforce? What can we do to give you the best nanomedicine workforce out there? And based on the information that we got for them, we built out our courses and our programs to make sure that you are that you are on the right path and have maximum success of getting a job afterwards. And to add to that, we are constantly dynamically changing our courses and our program to make sure that we are always aligned with industry and always one step ahead to make sure that our graduating students are the most competitive out there. We see our students are seeking roles as in high demand research or even entrepreneurial roles in biotechnology, pharmaceutical sciences, biomedical, and healthcare industries. We offer our program in 2 different modalities. So we offer it in a Boston-based on-ground modality, as well as an online, fully online remote option as well, which you can do synchronous or asynchronously. We offer 4 different immersive concentrations, which again, I will talk about a little bit later in a few different slides. We have over 35 electives from nanomedicine specific, as well as we leverage all of the fantastic courses that have already been developed here at Northeastern from our partnering programs such as biotechnology, pharmaceutical sciences, chemical engineering, physics. And just to kind of put that out there, it really helps you kind of shape your curriculum to what you want your career to be. And then with all of our master's degrees, we do require a 3 to 6 month industry co-op. And again, that is really building on Northeastern's co-op model. Northeastern has been pioneering co-ops for decades. And we've seen that having that co-op really gives our students the edge to get jobs over other candidates out there. And so we've really incorporated that into our master's program. And Boston really is a fantastic place to do that. We'll talk a little bit more about what sorts of co-op opportunities that we can provide for you as well. So Northeastern's entire teaching model and education model is really based on this idea of experiential learning. So experiential learning is really this idea of acquiring knowledge and skills that you want to learn and applying it to an actual real world application, whether it's in the classroom through our industrial co-op, through our signature projects. So here's kind of some our 4 different concentrations. And later on, I'll go a little bit more into the courses and kind of what we can offer you there. But from our concentrations, you can either choose to go down the nanoformulation research route. So if you're someone that's looking to go into R&D, go on to a PhD, or are just interested in, how did these fundamental developments even happen? The nanoformulation research the nanoformulation research concentration may be for you. And basically, as part of this concentration, we've actually created a virtual online laboratory that pairs also with on-ground courses that gives you that real hands-on experience, as well as the simulation-based experience for you to now learn theory as well as apply it. This concentration has 2 main courses, which is our nanomedicine research techniques course. I'll show you a couple of examples of what you could learn in that course a little bit later, as well as a new launched capstone project where now you actually get to come into the lab or onto our online laboratory and actually make your own nanoparticles. Think about how you're going to characterize them when you're thinking about the physiochemical properties, but then also, what's going to happen when you put it in the body, and how can you address that? Our next concentration is our translation and commercialization. And this is really geared towards, for folks that have entrepreneurial interests or are looking to translate ideas that they have, or just kind of interested in seeing, how does an idea go from a bench to the bedside of our patients? In this, we actually have a signature project in one of our courses in which you actually work in a team to build a virtual startup company. And later on, I'll actually show you an example of one of our groups that have actually gone out to build the startup and are actually getting funding out there right now from the idea that they developed in our course, which is fantastic. We have our vaccine development concentration. As you can imagine, vaccine development is a very hot topic right now. So we actually do this in partnership with our biotechnology department. And it really goes into, what are vaccines? How do they work? How do you develop them? How have they changed from, 20 years ago to today? And what are the industry standards for these vaccines? And then lastly, our last concentration allows you to have an elective option. And so, if any of these different concentrations have caught your attention or you like little bits and pieces of it, you can build your own option. We're really here to make sure that you are tailored. We build a curriculum that's kind of tailored to your needs and your interests. And so we will work with you to develop that concentration plan as well in the elective option. Next slide, please. So here's actually some examples of our courses and what you could be doing in these courses. So one of our 2 core courses is our NNMD 5270, which is a Foundations in Nanotherapeutics course. So in this course, the first week that you come in, you actually get to, pick a disease that you're interested in. It could be cancer, Parkinson's, arteriosclerosis, whatever it is. And then each week you actually do a blogging activity where you answer questions and look into the literature about how can nanomedicine be used to tackle this disease? How can it be used to treat it, to diagnose it? How could it be used to overcome drug delivery options? And so each week you get to do this blog post and you're actually paired up with a blogging buddy where now you actually get to read each other's blog posts and comment on it. And so we've designed it in a way where you get to focus on your your one research, but by having the blogging buddies, now you get to learn about 3 to 4 different ideas in tangential while not increasing your workload. And it's really, again, an idea here is to pull from the literature, right? Nanomedicine does not have a textbook. It's changing every single day. It's changing right now as we're talking. And so because of those changes, we really, really pull from the literature, and we want our students to learn to pull from the literature. And that's kind of how we've designed this course. At the end of the course, all of these blog posts actually get culminated into a term paper, which I've actually had students use that in applications as they're going forward to show that they have literature review skills, to show their ideas that they have in nanomedicine, and has really helped them land some co-ops. Next slide, please. This is our counterpart to our nanotherapeutics course. This is our foundations in nanodiagnostics. And over here, you actually get to go through and design your own in vitro diagnostic. So the first half, you really learn about, what are ex vivo diagnostics? What's a companion diagnostics? You learn about lateral flow assays. That's what the SARS-CoV-2 assays are. They're lateral flow assays. You get to learn about liquid biopsies. In the second half, you learn about cool technologies such as PET imaging, MRI imaging. And in each step of the way, you really see how nanomedicine has made an impact in every single one of these diagnostics out there. So here's actually an example of one of the nanodiagnostics that our students actually created this semester. And they kind of took everything that they've been learning throughout the semester, put it together to come up with these really innovative, complex ideas. This was actually a microfluidic system where they designed to identify the MIR-208 with nanoparticles. And the great thing about this is all of these steps could be converted into one single chip by using nanotechnology ideas that are out there. And it just kind of goes to show you, the versatility of what you can do with a nanoparticle. Next slide, please. Our next kind of big course that we have is our nanobiocommercialization course, in which you actually get to create a virtual startup. So you work with a team your entire semester, you come up with an idea, and then every week you build another part of your business proposal. Whether it's looking at what are the regulatory guidelines you'd have to go through for your specific idea, whether it is a drug versus a device, what sorts of, testing would you want to do? What sorts of preliminary data? And it's really there for you to start thinking about how can you take your idea and really make a tangible impact on our patient population. Next, please. And from here, this is just some examples of some of our students that have actually taken these ideas and launched their own companies. So one is actually 3Day Fortified that recently just secured $12.5 million. So this is actually a news article from 2023. And this idea kind of started out from our students here at Northeastern. Another example is this Imaginostics, where they've actually taken these iron oxide nanoparticles that are currently clinically approved for iron anemia, but have now been shown to have these fantastic MRI, very, very detailed resolution vasculature. And they're actually building a company off this as an alternative to gadolinium-based agents, which are actually known to cause toxicity. And again, these are just a few examples of how students have taken their ideas that they've developed here at Northeastern and really made an impact. We've had students take their ideas and make patent and apply for patents through the university for that idea as they go forward as well. Next slide, please. And this is our nanomedicine research techniques course. Personally, this is actually my favorite course. I just love how you can you really get to go from like start to finish of how you think about your idea to all the way how you try it out. And so you actually get hands-on experience. You get to come into our lab. You get to learn how to make gold nanoparticles. How do you surface modify them? We actually have 2 microfluidic systems. So microfluidics is kind of the technology that really revolutionized lipid nanoparticles and liposome synthesis. And when I say that is in the past, it would maybe take about, 3 days, about a week to produce a batch of nanoparticles. Now I can make a batch of nanoparticles in under 2 minutes. That's the impact of our microfluidic system. And we actually have 2 state-of-the-art systems here today. One of the systems that we have, the actual larger scale model of it, is what was used at Moderna and Pfizer to develop their lipid nanoparticles. So again, it's really showing you that we are here to give you those industrial skills on industrial-based instruments. You learn how to characterize your particles through DLS, Zeta. You learn about cell culture. You learn about different nanofabrications. So right across from our lab space here at Northeastern, we actually have a whole state-of-the-art clean room nanofabrication facility. You have the opportunity to learn about what tools are available in there. We take you then down to different sorts of microscopy techniques. We have a electron microscopy core where you get to learn about SEM, TEM. We have a confocal microscopy core where I think they have over 10 different confocal instruments, plus a flow cytometry core, plus an MR imaging facility, an ultrasound. So that's just some examples of what is available at Northeastern and what you could get your experience with. And then lastly, we take you all the way down to, how would you actually translate this? What sorts of animal experiments would you need to be considered? What about safety, efficacy? And we really walk you through the entire path during our research techniques course. And this course is for anyone interested in doing our capstone course, would actually be completing this course to kind of learn the basic techniques and then apply it in our capstone course, where now you get to come in and actually build and formulate your own nanoparticles and test them out and see, what sorts of innovations you can make from there. Next slide, please. Okay, I think I'm going to hand it over to Anne now.
All right. So as a student in our courses, we try to expose you to many different types of multimedia and different ways of learning. So here's an example of some of the modules that we've built out for our nanomedicine research techniques course. And so each student will start the week by going through a module that describes what you're going to be learning about. So for example, here, this is the module where students learn about gold nanoparticle synthesis. And so as part of this, they watch an online lecture. Once they complete the lecture, there's all sorts of supplementary materials, including what are the different reagents, how are these particles synthesized. Here you see a little video that offers a sneak peek into what the students will be doing inside the lab. We talk about how we can make gold nanoparticles of different sizes, and then how we can characterize what we've made. Once the students go through the learning module, they get to go through a knowledge check where they get to see, do they understand the different concepts that were taught? And once they finish this knowledge check, then they get to read the protocol. And you'll see this is way more detailed than the types of protocols that you see in the literature. And really our goal is for the students to not only understand what are the different reagents, how do we put them together, how do we make a nanoparticle, but also give you the skills that you need in order to be able to design your own protocols in the future. So there's a lot of tips and tricks in here. There's a lot of troubleshooting information. And so this protocol will then be demonstrated in the lab. And then after the lab, all of our students get to analyze actual data that was generated inside the lab. The point of all this knowledge and skills acquisition will then culminate in a co-op experience. So as Nita mentioned, the co-op experience is really one of the signature experiences that we offer at Northeastern. And so, this is really your chance to take all the knowledge and the skills that you've acquired and put them into practice. And the amazing thing is we have a set of full-time co-op coordinators, and they work to curate thousands of different co-op opportunities across the world. And so as a student in our program, you'll be assigned a co-op advisor. You'll also get the chance to do a co-op preparation course. And this co-op preparation course teaches everything from how to polish your resume, how to interview, how to land that co-op experience. And as a student, you have an option to either do a 3-month co-op or 6-month co-op experience. Here's what our curriculum looks like. So essentially in year 1, we offer a set of core courses that's completed by everyone in the program, including some of those courses that you saw examples of today, including our nanotherapeutics and nanodiagnostic courses. We also offer programming in nanotoxicology, biomedical research ethics, biostatistics, and preclinical and clinical study design. Students will complete the co-op preparation in the first semester because basically that gives you the option to either take a co-op between the first and second year or to take a 6-month co-op at the end of the 2 years. In the second year, that's your opportunity to really start to explore more in a direction that you're interested in. So you can pick one of our concentrations. You'll also have the option to pick at least one elective. And then along the way, you'll be participating in our professional seminar series where we bring in guest speakers to really expose you to the many different types of nanomedicine research going on. As I mentioned, we've got that industry co-op experience. This is something that will be full-time, either 3 months or 6 months, depending on whether you choose to do it in a summer term or at the end of your coursework. If you are an international student, I know I saw a couple of those in our chat. Just know that if you do want to do a co-op in the US, you are required to spend at least 1 year doing courses on ground in the US before you can qualify for US co-op. So if you're in that scenario, we tend to recommend that you go ahead and apply for the on-ground version of our program instead of the online version. We have a lot of really great concentrations. Here you get a sense of the types of courses that are included in our concentrations. So our nanoformulation research concentration, that includes that nanomedicine research techniques course that you saw that video for. We have our experiential capstone, which is where you get to apply really what you learn in the research techniques course to designing and optimizing and characterizing your own nanoparticle in the lab. We also have options of 2 different biomaterials courses that you can take. We have options for different pharmacokinetic, pharmacodynamic, and drug metabolism courses. And of course, you get to round this out with your own elective. If you're interested in more of a translational or commercialization track, that's where we offer our nano and biomedical commercialization course. In partnership with our biotechnology program, we have a really fantastic biotechnology enterprise course, as well as a course that'll teach you how to manage a biotechnology company. Also, you're really a fundamental piece of being able to translate technology from a lab to the patients is understanding what are the different regulatory pieces as well as manufacturing pieces that are important to keep in mind. So we have a course on CGMP statutes and regulations, as well as a course on quality for biotechnology. Our vaccine development program includes coursework in cell culture processes, vaccines and immunization, vaccine regulatory science, molecular tools, and as well as CGMP statutes and regulation course. If you feel like none of these concentrations are exactly the direction that you want to go, we also have this election option. Where we have over 35 different courses you can choose from to really design the set of courses that you want to really prepare you for that career that you are looking for. As you already got a little flavor of, we offer all our course materials in a variety of different learning modalities. And part of that is because we know that every student learns in different ways. But also, as Nita said, there's no textbook for any of this material. It's constantly changing. And so what we do as instructors is we try and pull different multimedia sources from many different places. So what you get to do is you get to participate in narrated online lectures to sort of help you prepare for the week. Then we have all sorts of interactive discussions. We have case studies. We have opportunities to network with guest speakers. So you really get to hear and discuss the ideas with the experts that are in the Boston area. Then you get to apply a lot of these ideas in the assignments. You saw, just a couple of examples today, but I think one of the things that's really unique about all our assignments is that really we offer them in an iterative way. So it's not just that you're handing something in and you get a grade. No, everything you hand in, you get feedback on, you get mentorship on. We give you the chance to revise your work, to reflect on your work. And so in this way, your ideas become better and stronger so that really by the end of the semester, you are an expert in this topic. And then, of course, along the way, we have all these fantastic signature projects that you get to work on, including that virtual startup company we talked about. We've got that capstone course where you're working together with fellow students to create those microfluidic-based nanoparticles. We've got those blogging activities and more. And so really, every step along the way, in all of our courses, you get to learn all these different ways and have all these different experiences that are really grounded in real world problems. But it's not just us as nanomedicine faculty. You're going to get to network with a lot of different folks. In fact, since we started our nanomedicine seminar series, we have brought in over 150 different guest speakers. And so every other week as part of our program, you get to attend a seminar from a guest speaker. And so this is really your opportunity to get to hear from the experts, get to know the experts, build that networking, ask questions. A lot of our students have found their first internship with one of our guest speakers or their first co-op or have landed their first job. So this is, a really amazing opportunity where it's not just sort of, us teaching you in isolation, but we bring in all these amazing experts for you to learn from and network with. We have a lot of amazing employment prospects. One of the great things about the fact that we've been teaching nanomedicine since 2005 means have a huge number of students who've gone through our programs, who've gone through our courses. We follow these folks to see where they go in their careers. We've seen that they're going for jobs in biotechnology, pharmaceutical sciences, healthcare, biotechnology. We have students who use this master's as a way to jumpstart their PhD. As you saw, we've had students start their own companies based on the ideas that they've generated in our courses. And here you can see just a selection of some of the few places where our students have ended up. Some of them are in Boston, others are, all around the world. And, as a student in our program, we really see that these opportunities will open doors for you to places like this as well. In terms of potential career paths, one of the things that we do is we build professional development programming into all of our courses. So it's not just learning about nanomedicine, but it's also really acquiring those skills that you need to be able to apply for these jobs and succeed in these jobs. Here you can see examples of, just some of the potential titles that you can go for, once you have a master's degree. With our students, we've seen, a lot of them tend to start in the salary range of 80 to 105,000. This is directly coming out of the program. And, there's a lot of different paths as well. So we see that, almost half of our students do tend to go into industry, but about a third of them also go on to do a more advanced degree, whether it's an MBA, a PhD, something else. And then the remainder tend to go into more research-based careers. So I think, really the data shows that, that there's a lot of different directions you can go in. And really, we've tried to design our program in such a way that you can really tailor your coursework based on your interests and the career path that you want to pursue. Here's just a little flavor of some of our students who are in our program or have gone through our program. So for example, we have Axel, who's a student right now. He's in Houston, but he's joining us as an online student. And he's taking a lot of these techniques that he's learning in our courses, and he's actually applying them right now in the lab where he's working. We have Jimmy, who's one of our nanomedicine certificate students, and she right now is working on using lipid-based particles for drug delivery over at Beam Therapeutics. Pooja is another one of our certificate students. Leia is one of our current master's students. We have Shawshank. He recently completed our certificate program. He's actually used the certificate program now to help him get into a PhD program where he's actually working at GSK and working on nanoformulating vaccines as part of his PhD project. And then here's Mike, who's one of our current master's students right now. He is someone who is an expert in nanodiagnostics. And even when he took our nanodiagnostics course this semester, he was blown away. I think one of the major pieces of feedback we got from him is that he learned so many new things, and the course just sparked so many new ideas that is helping him in his day-to-day job now. One question we get a lot is, if I join this program, do I need to be an expert in nanomedicine? And the answer is no. We're the experts. We are here to teach you. If we look at, most of the students who've come into our program, most of them haven't even taken a full course in nanomedicine because there's so few universities that offer coursework in this. But a lot of them, may have touched on nanomedicine, in a particular course. Maybe they did some nanomedicine in a research experience somewhere. So, they've seen enough nanomedicine to know that it's exciting and that they potentially want to do this as a career path. But you don't need a lot of nanomedicine knowledge to come into our program. And here, I just wanted to wrap up with some quotes from some of our students who have gone through this program. And I think, really the thing that we hear over and over from all of our students is that, the knowledge that they learned has helped them, with their day-to-day jobs. It's helped them land co-ops. It's helped them get their first job. It's helped them get into PhD programs. And what I love as an instructor is our students are so enthusiastic. They come back to us and they tell us, oh, here's how this course helped me. And so it's so exciting for us to see that and to know that we're making a real world impact, because it tells us that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And so really, we are here to help you succeed. And so, anything that we can do to help with that, we are more than happy to do. Here's some of the details. If you're still considering whether or not to apply, our program is 2 to 2.5 years, depending on whether you choose to take that 3-month or 6-month co-op. You'll be completing a total of 34 credit hours, which means 8 to 9 credit hours per semester. We have both a Boston-based on-ground program as well as an online program that can be completed anywhere around the world. If you're not ready to commit to a full-time program, we do offer part-time options as well. Just note, if you are an international student and you do want to come on ground, you are required to complete at least 8 credit hours per semester to maintain visa status, which means that you would be considered a full-time student. Our next upcoming deadline is July 15. or July 1 if you do not yet have a visa. So I would say, definitely start applying soon if this is something that you're interested in. In terms of what we require for an application, we do have an online application form. We have a small fee. We require informal transcripts. When you're admitted into the program, that's when we'll ask you to submit formal copies of your transcripts. We do also ask for a personal statement, a resume, and 2 letters of recommendation. If you're a student from overseas and you did not take your undergraduate degree in English, we do ask that you also provide some evidence of English proficiency. The good news is if you are an international student and you do want to join us full-time in person, our program does meet the F1 visa requirements. Here we've posted just a couple of essential links. We'll definitely be distributing a copy of this presentation to you. You can definitely find out more about us on our website. You can also check out our curriculum to get more details on the different courses, the different concentrations, and sort of, what you would take when as part of our program. A question we get a lot is, do we offer scholarships or financial aid? At this moment, we are not able to offer financial aid or scholarships, but there are a large range of financing options. So if financing is a concern, I would definitely encourage you to check out our financing page as well. And now I am more than happy to open up the floor to questions. And if at a later date you have a question, feel free to email us at nanomedicine@northeastern.edu. And you can use this QR code if you want to get to any of those pages that I showed you on the previous slide. All right, happy to take questions.
Excellent, Doc. Excellent. In a minute, I'm going to ask you to go back to that admissions page just to make sure students have an opportunity to see that, snapshot that as well. A few questions in the chat, and I know Sky has some. One question was raised. A student says, I'm actually currently pursuing a BE in biotechnology with a specialization in nanotechnology, biosensors. They want to know, is there any course which is related to nanomedicine and neurodegenerative disorders?
Excellent. So I'd say we don't have a specific course on neurodegenerative disease, but that is something that we integrate into all of our courses because really we try to focus more on the technology and then teach you about applications. So for us, neurodegenerative disease is one of those very promising applications. And so one of the neat things that we do as part of all our courses is you as a student get to help decide the direction of your assignments or the direction of your project. So like that nanotherapeutics course that Nita talked about, we had a lot of students that semester, write about things like Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and other types of neurodegenerative disease. And so each week they took the concepts that they learned in the course and then had the chance to study how nanomedicine is applied to that specific disease. So to make that long answer short, we can pull all those types of diseases and really sort of tailor your assignments to look more into detail about those diseases.
Thank you, Doc. And I also heard you say earlier about scholarships. Just to clarify, fee waivers, is there fee waivers available for students, international students specifically?
Yes, we do have a fee waiver, and we can send out that code.
Excellent. Thank you.
We have one question here in the chat. They're asking specifically, this is a specific case, if they graduated with a bachelor's degree in biological sciences, and they're teaching biology, chemistry, and health sciences at the high school level, would they be qualified for admission?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, I think that that would be a great fit for sure.
Scott, I don't see any more questions in the chat that haven't been
Mm.
covered. See about the recordings.
Is there
Does anyone
one? There's one here in the Q&A who, and I don't know if it was on one of the slides you would be best to go to, if there's an advisor or a counselor for students to reach out to if they have more questions on admissions. And I don't know if that would be directly to the COS admissions team
Yes.
or,
Yeah,
Okay.
so if you have specific questions related to admissions, that would be gradadmissions@northeastern.edu. They can answer any questions related to applications. Students who do come into our program will be assigned a full-time student advisor from the college, as well as a co-op advisor. And then, of course, Nita and I also serve to answer, any questions or help, with any sort of aspects related to the program that you have questions about.
Is
at
it
this
okay if I
point?
ask a
Go ahead.
question? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry
go
to
ahead.
interrupt.
Please come off. Yeah, no, go
Oh,
ahead. I was gonna
thanks.
say, come off mute, ask directly.
Good deal. Can I share the screen? Is that possible? Or is
It
it
depends
okay?
on what you're trying to show. Depends what you're trying to show here.
Oh, it's just just like an article. I can explain it also, but either way, whatever. Is it better if I just explain it?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and
Right.
explain it?
Explain
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Sweet. I guess I'm wondering here, these researchers, they pegylated this corn-derived nanoparticle. They like centrifuge the corn and then they pegylated and they injected intratumorally. Uh, is it possible to like inject not like intravenously some pegylated nanoparticle?
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, we have a whole course dedicated just on that topic, which is our
Ah.
nanotherapeutics course. And so there we really go into everything from, how do you make a nanoparticle to then how do you design it to do what you want it to do inside the body, right? Because if
Oh,
we
okay.
inject something into the blood, how do we make sure it gets to the right tissue, that it interacts with the right cells? And so PEG is one of those really cool molecules in that it helps keep your immune system from recognizing the particle. So it sticks around in your blood longer. So instead of lasting for a couple minutes, now it might last for a couple
Wow.
of days. And so PEG is, actually it's a really common molecule right now that people are putting on nanoparticles. And in fact, also your, Moderna and Pfizer vaccines have PEG on the outside. And it really comes down to just sort of, having it circulate longer in the body statistically improves its chances of, getting to where it's supposed to in that time frame.
Understood. Thanks. Is it okay if I ask another question real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, thanks. Thanks so much. So you mentioned like you're into gold nanoparticles. I don't really know anything else, but sometimes I read a lot about silver, like this green nanoparticle, like a silver. They use silver, and the plant produces whatever the nanoparticle. Can you explain that a little bit, if you don't
Yeah,
mind?
do you want to go ahead and take that one?
Thank you.
Hey, yeah. So silver and gold kind of have some cool aspects to it, right? The reason that people
Mhm.
use silver and gold a lot of times is actually for imaging,
Ah.
or like biosensors or ex vivo diagnostics. It's because of that. You can actually, similar to gold with silver, you can actually change the size of your particle and it actually changes the absorbent properties. So they actually look like they're different colors. So we
Mhm.
actually have a faculty here, faculty collaborator that we've actually brought on, I want to say like 2 or 3 times to our seminar talk. She's from BU. And she actually does some fantastic work on silver nanoparticles, and she's actually designed them to identify like differences between like Ebola versus Zika virus within the same test based on the color of the silver nanoparticle that she's using. So like the cool thing about what really got me into nanomedicine is like something like gold, like we wear it for jewelry, right? Biocompatible when it's in solid form. When you bring it down to the nanoscale, the properties are completely different. It's no longer a solid. If you go from like a 5 nanometer to a 25 nanometer, it's going to go from like a red to a violet. And so you can like do lots of cool. So that's kind of what you're seeing with the silver nanoparticles is very similar. That sort of transition is happening because of the size.
Okay. Is it okay if I ask a follow-up real quick on that, or?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Sorry, thanks.
Okay.
So like, okay, so specifically in the green nanoparticle formulation, like, is this silver, like, is it beads? Like, I don't know, I don't quite understand what they're doing. Like, it seems like there's like some water and they electrically charge it and put the plant in it, and then they use the plant material as like you have lipid pegylation, whatever. They're using this plant material as that coating or something. I just cannot understand.
Yeah. I can't really get into the specifics unless I've like read the paper per
I
se, but
understand.
what I think is probably happened is from what you've described is they probably used like silver atoms to make the core of the silver nanoparticle. And it sounds like they've used like a plant-based or some sort of thing to coat it to make it more biocompatible would be my guess from what you described. But
Got it.
unless I like read the paper, it's a little bit hard for me to judge exactly what they've done. Sorry.
Got it.
You're welcome
Okay.
to shoot me an email and, if you want, I can look and maybe give you a little bit more of a detailed response then.
Okay. Thanks. So what I'm understanding is this is not a very common practice for like to get therapeutics, this green this type of, okay, maybe I just don't know enough about it to formulate the question intelligently, I guess.
Well, you're always welcome to just shoot us an email as well. We're happy to, maybe touch base that way as well.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Awesome. Do we have other questions from our audience? Feel free to unmute your mic, raise your hand.
I
Yes.
think there's one, Vikash, which I don't know if Sky or Kenyatta, maybe you can answer. They asked about payment on installment based for the program. So I guess, do you want to maybe explain like how the payment for the program works, or if there's any insight about that?
Maybe that one just came to you. I don't think I actually saw that question.
Yeah, so the student said, why not provide some tuition waiver and payment on installment so it's more affordable? I think the student's asking whether you pay the
Yeah,
full amount at one time or you do pay it semester by semester.
I think it's more
Correct.
on the
Yeah, there are tuition cost. There is a cost per credit. So you're not paying the full cost of the full, 2-year program at one time. You're paying as you do your credits. And there's X number of credits per course. There was one question here. Somebody interested with a medicine background, would they be a good fit for the program?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've had quite a few students who are interested, like pre-med students as well, who are taking a gap year, who decide to take our certificate or take some courses. So absolutely interested in medicine would be a fantastic fit for sure.
Okay, and then there's another one here, and then I'll open it up to anybody in the chat that has questions. I think this student is asking specifically about work study. So I don't know if there's like TA positions or any other ways once the student is in the program to earn some kind of income while getting additional experience at the same time.
So in our case, we don't offer that, but as a student in a program, you are still eligible to work. And so Northeastern has resources, especially if you're an international student, to be able to still work while you're under visa. And they have, just like we have a co-op database with all our co-op opportunities, there's also a database that has on-campus job opportunities that you can do to earn some money while you're studying as well.
Great. Thank you so much. Listen, we are at time. And so what I want to do, if you don't mind, just put your contact information again, if you guys don't mind. One thing I love about Northeastern is the personal touch. And so I appreciate that. That's very unique to have a university our size, but yet we're very much touchable. And so please, ladies and gentlemen, please take down email addresses and all those things. And I promise you, we will follow up as well. So thank you again to our nanomedicine team. I'm super excited. And yeah, I think that's it for today. So thank you everyone for joining.
Yep, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you all.